So, when doing this procedure, I would first knock on the door, come in, introduce myself. Hi, my name's Acacia. I'm going to be your student nurse for today. First things first, I would go ahead and ask them if I could place my bin on their table. They would say yes. Then I would go ahead and perform hand hygiene. First things first is I would identify the patient. So I'm just going to touch away. Since I touched the table, I would perform hand hygiene one more time. Let that dry. Josh Rivera. The ID bracelet was on this on the right arm, but I would go ahead and check both arms to make sure that if it was on the other arm, to make sure to identify them. But when identifying them, I would have asked, "Sir, could you please state your full name?" And he would have restated, and his full name is Josh Rivera. So now that I've identified the patient, even before coming into the room, I would have made sure to check the order for the procedure that I'm going to do to make sure that the order is in place. And then once I've identified the patient, then I would ask them, "Sir, do you have any pain?" 0 being the least amount of pain, 10 being the most amount of pain. If he was in pain, I would make sure to have checked the medical record, medication record to possibly administer medicine, and then wait 30 to 45 minutes before doing the procedure. But if he's not in pain, then I would have not administered anything. And then I would ask for allergies. Sir, do you have any allergies? And if he didn't have any allergies, then I would make sure to just continue on. And if he did, then I would make sure to document that. Sir, I just want to explain the procedure that I'm going to do to you. I'm going to do the nasopharyngeal sectioning. And it's just to clear up your airways, since you're having difficulty breathing. It's going to help you. So now that I've explained the procedure to the patient, as you can see, I have my gown on, which is my PPE. But actually, even before doing that, I would have made sure to have provided privacy. So pulling the curtain or closing the doors. So now that I've explained the procedure, I've asked for allergies, pain. Now, as you can see, I have my gown on, so that's part of the PPE that I'm required to have. Since I have glasses on, I'm not going to wear my goggles, and since there's no extra face mask, I would just pretend that I would have a face mask and goggles as part of my PPE to do this procedure. So now that I've done that, we'll go ahead and move on to this other side. And then I would ask him, "Sir, is it okay if I place my basket or my bin on your bed?" And I would go ahead and place it.
So I'm going to go ahead and attach the pulse ox.
And then I would go ahead and make sure to lift the bed
oxygen level
to waist level.
So I'm going to go ahead and you can clean it with an alcohol swab. And then make sure they don't have any nail polish on if they're a female or just somebody that likes nail polish. And so then you go ahead and put that on. And you can keep that on in the entire procedure.
There we go.
So
finally found the right function. So I just want to make sure to put the bed to waist level. That way it's comfortable for me when I'm working on the patient.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put this blue pad on.
And I would also
just so if any drainage does leak out,
position them at either 30 to 45 degrees.
That, I'm going to go ahead
just a good position where
cross over here and
suctioning them.
burn on this suction.
So that's a good position. That's about 30 to 45 degrees. First thing that I would do is I would make sure that everything is working properly, just visually. Then I would go ahead and turn this on.
And I go ahead and put clean
and I want to put it at between 100 and 120, but I'm going to go ahead and put it at 100.
So I have my clean gloves on. Go like this, see it go up. Okay, so it's good. And so I'm going to go ahead and lay this across him just to make it easier for me. And then I would take off my clean gloves and perform hand hygiene. And now I'm going to actually start the procedure. So I'm going to open this right here. And I'm going to take these gloves out. And I'm not going to use these. I have these gloves that I brought in. And then I can touch this outer edge. So I'm just going to keep this.
We're having a little difficulties right now, so.
And then I'm going to go ahead and I'll get the solution and you want palm with the label. And so I'll unscrew it, turn the lid upside down, and then I go ahead and pour it in here, but for the sake of this, I don't want to ruin our sin, so we're just not going to put any liquid in here. So I pour the liquid or the saline in and set that back down.
That's about
And then you want to go
100
ahead
now.
and
Sorry,
put the date
little
on it.
difficulties.
Open it 'cause it's
Um,
gonna get
so now that I
So after
went
that,
ahead and put
I'm gonna
the
go ahead
suctioning
and
on
ask my
at
patient
100,
if I can
then I'm going to
drop
go
my
ahead
gloves on
and
this bench.
perform hand hygiene.
So I open the package,
perform
take
hand
the
hygiene.
gloves, clean out,
And then I'd put on some gloves.
and I'm going to start with my dominant hand.
And I just want to make sure that the tubage
And you want to do the hitchhiker or put it on
is working correctly. And I want to make sure that I put gloves on. That way I try to keep everything as clean as possible.
Okay.
So I'm just going
And
to,
after that, I'm just going to get
My hand, I'm just gonna make sure that it's working. and the suctioning is working correctly. So I just want to make sure before I start my procedure. So I'll go ahead and place that back. Then I'll go ahead and take off my
I'm going to go
gloves.
ahead, now I can put it over my gown.
And then I would go ahead and perform hand hygiene one more time.
Put it on right over my
And
hand.
I would let that dry.
Okay. And now
First is with my
is
blue
when I start, I'm going to grab the suction
pad right
device.
here. I want to go ahead and put this over the patient. So I'd ask, sir, I'm just going to put this over your chest. That way I can protect your gown from any leakage or
And
any fluid that
before I
might
do
come
this,
out.
I'm going to go ahead and measure
So once I've done that,
from the nose to
then
the
I'm going to
ears
go ahead and
see how
take
far-
my
just to,
other
kinda get
materials.
an estimate of how far I'm going to have to push this. in the nasal passageway.
I'm just going to open it.
About-
And everything is still sterile since I'm only touching the outside border.
And so after that,
I'm going to take these gloves out.
So I'm going to go ahead
Put that
and
on
get my
top.
non-dominant hand and attach it to this here. Okay, so I can see that that's
I want to make sure
And so
to
now I'm going to
put a
dip it in
pulse
a
ox on
solution
their
right here.
index finger. That way I can
And
assess
make
the
sure that it is lubricated
the
so it can
pulse,
slide through the nasal passageway.
the
And I'm gonna
oxygen
go
rate
ahead and tell the patient
during the
to take
procedure
one big
because
deep
at any
breath.
point
1, 2,
if
3.
the oxygen were to
Go
be
ahead
too
and
low,
breathe
then
in.
I would go ahead and
Twist it
immediately
in.
stop the procedure.
And then on the way out, I'm going to twist
So I will
out.
be
You don't wanna keep it
assessing
in
the
more than
pulse
15
ox
seconds. And you're just going to go like
throughout
that.
the procedure. So I'll just put this on their finger.
Okay, so after that, patient did a good job.
Now that that's
I'm going to go
on,
ahead and dip it in
um,
there again. Get off
I'm gonna
any
take
sort
my
of
solution.
contents that may be on the tube.
um,
And you're going to tell them to
And
take
I'm
one more
gonna go
deep
ahead
breath.
and,
You're going to do it again.
just pour a little bit out.
Twist it, the clue, take off,
Get it out.
take off. Twist it all
I'm
the
just
way
going to
down.
carefully
And then you're going to dip it in
Solution in
again
here.
and do it for a third time. So you do each nostril 3 times, and then if the patient has a lot more
since
mucus,
this is a very unstable
like in the oropharyngeal,
space, I'm going to
you
go ahead and
do
place
that after
this
you do the nasopharyngeal.
on the,
So,
okay, so as you can see from before,
and
the
now I'm going to perform hand hygiene.
saline solution was a little unstable, so I went ahead and
And
moved
I'm gonna
it
put
to here.
Style
I
back
made sure
up.
to not touch anything
After
in the inside because it's still sterile.
And before
So,
I grill him, I asked him if he
Before
wanted
having
any
even
like
done my
oral
saline, I would have made sure to check the
and I
expiration date to make sure that it wasn't tampered with and that
And so
everything
after
was
that,
normal.
Now I'm going to put him back down.
So now that I've done that,
Like
then I'll go
a
ahead and
little
perform
bit
hand hygiene.
flat, so I'm going to go ahead
Let that dry. And I'm going to go ahead and put on my sterile gloves. There were sterile gloves in the packaging for the nasogastric tube, but since I am going to use my own size
and then
gloves.
after that, I'm going to go ahead and dispose of my PPE and perform hand hygiene and
So first I would ask the patient, sir, is it okay if I use your bedside or to place my gloves? And he would most likely say yes. So I'm going to go ahead and just place that right there.
I almost forgot hand hygiene.
The gloves are still fine. I'm
Before I started
going to just move it down here. Everything is still sterile, the gloves inside.
You want to go with the go
So, so with my non-dominant hand, I'm going to go ahead and put these gloves on.
Maybe they're supposed to meet at the hospital. Oh, I can see. Is this one right? You're number 5.
So now that I put those gloves on, I'm going to use my other hand. Make sure that I don't touch anything on the outside since these are still gloves.
Okay, I'm gonna throw this away. Let me go put the PPE. It wouldn't tie, so I just left it in this.
And with this hand, I'm going to make sure to put
What is her name?
Still struggling. So I'm still sterile, so now that I didn't touch any part of the inside of my glove, I can go ahead, now that my gloves are on, fix my gloves. Just go ahead and fix those. And with my finger, I'm going to reach underneath here. And you can just bring it down, and I'm still sterile since I didn't touch any part of the outside of my gloves. So now that I'm sterile, then I'm going to go ahead and take this hand, and I'm going to grab the tube, and I'm going to grab this other hand, and I'm going to connect it. So this is the hand that I'm going to be doing the sectioning with. So now that it's connected, then I'm going to go ahead and dip it in the saline. And then I'm going to lubricate. And then I'm going to ask the patient to just relax. First, I would then go ahead and, before even lubricating, I would make sure to measure from the nose to the ear. So I'm going to measure from right about there, and then I would go ahead and dip in the solution and then lubricate. So I'm just going to go ahead one more time. So now that I've measured, I would just ask the patient to relax, and then on the count of 3, I would go ahead and insert the tube. 1, 2, 3. And I would go ahead and ask the patient to just relax, and then I would just wait for a good couple seconds, and then I would twist out, and I would go ahead and dip it again, doing it 3 more times on each nostril, and once I've done that, then I would go ahead and also do I could also do the oral pharyngeal to take out any mucus or any blockage that they might have. And then once I've done that, then I would go ahead and disconnect this. But while I would have done that, I would make sure to do it intermittently. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it one more time. Dip it, and then I would lubricate it. So, and then I would tell the patient on the count of 3 that I would go ahead and insert it. So just relax. 1, 2, 3. And then as I'm once I'm taking out the tube, then I would go ahead and intermittently suction out. And then I would then go ahead and just go ahead and do it 3 more times on each nostril. And then once I'm done with that, then I would go ahead and disconnect it. And then I would go ahead and just put that over there. And then with this glove, I would go ahead and reach underneath here with that, and then put it in this hand. And with this hand, I would go ahead and make sure. And then I would go ahead and throw that away. And then I would go ahead and dispose of this in the sink because I don't want to put it in the patient's trash can. I would go ahead and dispose of this. I would go ahead and take out my blue pad, and dispose of that. Just gonna leave this over here. So I would have disposed of that in the sink and then put it in the trash. And then once I'm done with the patient, I would make sure that the patient was okay. I would ask them if they needed anything. So then I would go ahead and turn this off. And then I would go ahead and put the bed down. I just want to put it to the most comfortable setting for the patient, and then I would go ahead and make sure the patient was comfortable, and see if they needed anything. Make sure if they needed their bed raised, then I would go ahead and do that, and then I would perform hand hygiene and exit the room.